Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Open University.
Good morning, friends. So, all of us are meeting for our MA English course and we are discussing our paper Indian Writing in English. Now, we know that the term Indian Writing in English is a tricky term as it allows many interpretations such as Indian texts writing in English or Indo-Anglian literature and so on. So, according to Premanand Kumaran, the term Indian writing in English has gained an established place in the curricula of Indian University now, and in comparison to 1950s, a larger number of Indians are now writing and publishing in English language. While we discuss the history of Indian writing in English, variety of genre such as novel, poetry, autobiography, and others can be discussed in detail. But today our focus is on modern Indian theatre as our text for today's discussion is the play entitled Tara by Mahesh Dhattani. So friends, modern Indian theatre includes the term Indian theatre, and we know that theatre is part of ancient Indian culture from the time of the emergence of Sanskrit drama and its tradition. Or you can say the folk performance arts such as Bhavai and Tamasha are still current in rural India. However, our definition and discussion of modern Indian theatre today is going to be limited to modern Indian theatre that is predominantly urban, manifestly influenced by Western tradition, even as it tries to find its own fit, still evolving and searching for a distinctive identity. Now you might wonder, why did I say that modern Indian theatre tries to find its own fit, still evolving and searching for a distinctive identity? So let me ask you, friend, one question. How many names of playwrights come to your mind when someone asks you about modern Indian theatre? Okay, you might answer Mahesh Dhattani. Well, I have already given that name earlier. So any other name that is coming to your mind? Okay, you might give me the name of Girish Karnad. Well, he is a Kannada playwright who translates his plays into English himself. A number of playwrights who write in other Indian languages are translated into English. Remember that, right? For instance, you can say Vijay Tendulkar or Mahashweta Devi or Badal Sirkar and so on. So, when we are talking about playwrights writing their plays originally in English, do you remember who are they? Well, let me share some of the names here with you. One is Manjula Padmanabhan, Cyrus Mistry, Jeev Patel, Guru Charan Das and Deena Mehta. Manjula Padmanabhan, whose play Harvest won a major international award, must be a known name for you, right? These people have written some of the plays, but they are very few, right? So, if we check the history of Indian English drama, pre-independence period has some of the names such as Sri Aurobindo and Rabindranath Tagore. I can remind you of Tagore's plays such as The Post Office and The King of the Dark Chamber. These two works are very popular. So we should remember that most of Tagore's works are translated by Tagore himself. The other major playwrights from before independence are Harindranath Chattopadhyay, T.P. Kailasam and Bharati Sarabhai. During pre-independence era, Indian English dramatists, like their counterparts in other genres, were involved in constructing an ideal India. For this, they went back to the epics and Puranas, the lives of saints and history. They explored and reinterpreted their chosen text in order to create the India and the Indian who could stand shoulder to shoulder with the English. The Indian they constructed was necessarily Hindu because of the past that they were uncovering in its glory. Now, post independence Indian English drama doesn't come with major changes suddenly. But yes, the first 5 year plan did give conscious thought to performing arts, and National School of Drama and various other state academies were set up during that time. Now, Mahesh Dhattani, our playwright of today's play Tara, belongs to this period, of course. But before discussing about Mahesh Dhattani, let us get brief idea about plays and playwrights of post-independence period in Indian history. During this time period, Asif Karimboy, who wrote more than 30 plays, was a popular name in drama. Now, Karimboy's plays deal with contemporary political events and social issues. Some of the plays are The Captives, published in 1963, is about Sino-Indian conflict. Goa is a play about the liberation of Goa by India. Monsoon is about colonization. His play, The Dole Drummers, is the play which was banned for a while, is about the hippie culture and Anglo-Indians. G.V. Desani is another significant name in this list. Specifically, his poetic play Hali is important. Published in the year 1950, this play is about human longing and fulfillment. Pratap Sharma is another playwright in this list who is known for his work A Touch of Brightness. It was about red light district of then Bombay. It was banned for some time in Bombay, of course, due to its bold theme and treatment. Some other plays such as Dina Mehta's Mythmaker, Guru Charan Das, Larsin Sahib, Cyrus Mistri's Doon Ganji House, and well-known and critically acclaimed. Among the recent playwrights, Manjula Padmanabhan is a significant name. Her plays like Harvest, Lights Out, and Gaslights are very popular. My limitation of time does not allow me to incorporate many other names and works here, but for future reference, one should read K. Iyengar's work Indian Writing in English, published in 1962. Bruce King's work Post-Colonial English Drama and Commonwealth Drama since 1960 is another important work. Now, let me talk about Mahesh Dhattani in this group. Mahesh Dhattani has been a well-established playwright, stage director, script writer, and filmmaker. Born in 1958 to Gujarati parents in Bangalore, Dattani started his own theatre company Playpan in 1986. His well-known collection of plays, Final Solution, earned him the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1988, has been staged all over India and outside. London, Washington DC, Sydney, Colombo and Dubai. Beside these workshops, he has also wrote a radio play for BBC. In the genre of cinema, he has started his career as a film director with his first film Mango Shuffle. As a director, he also gave films like Morning Raga, Dance Like a Man and Ek Alag Mausam. If we discuss about the plays he has written till now, then they are Where There Is a Will, Dance Like a Man, Bravely Fought the Queen, Final Solution, On a Muggy Night in Mumbai, 7 Circles Round the Fire, which was radio play for BBC, 7 Steps Around the Fire, 30 Days in September, The Girl Who Touched the Stars, Brief Candle, Where Did I Leave My Parda, and The Big Fat City, published 2012. In his conversation with Utpal Banerjee, Mahesh Dhattani talks about his life and influences. Here I am reading some of them for you. In answer to his early theatre interest, Dhattani said, The first play that I remember going to was Madurai's Koi Pan Ek Foolnu Naam Bolo To in Gujarati. I was mesmerized. I fell in love with the surreal world of theatre in an instant. At that time, I didn't think I could ever be part of it. It was only in college that I heard of Bangalore Little Theatre, an amateur group. I joined the group doing backstage work for them. It was great fun. I was keen to be an actor then. I did small parts, but very soon I switched over to directing plays. Regarding his role models, Dattani says, I think Girish Karnad was a kind of role model. He once told me that he enjoyed doing theatre and he acts in commercial films for the money. He is the most important living playwrights we have in our country. Other models are Mahesh Eknuwar, Vijay Tendulkar, and of course Madurai. I also admire Badal Sirkar for doing what he believed in. He stopped doing proscenium theatre when he did not believe in that anymore. So, this communication of Dattani with Utpal Banerjee gives us brief idea about Mahesh Dhattani and his career as a playwright. Now, let us come to the text of today's discussion, that is Tara. So, Tara, a play published in the year 1995, is a play in 2 acts. The play opens with Dan, who is typing something. Now, in the beginning, when Dan talks to the audience directly, we realize that he is right now in London, away from his family and his past. We also come to know that he is trying to relive his experience in order to put it on paper, where he is writing a play called Twinkle Tara. Very soon audience realizes that Dan is composed of his memories, that what he had tried desperately to suppress so far was the fact of having had a twin sister, Tara, who was inseparable from him. The way we started in life, 2 lives and 1 body in a one comfortable womb, as he says. He also talks of his freakishness, that he's a freak. We come to know that Tara and Dan are Siamese. In the first act only, the action moves to Bombay, where Mr. Patel and Bharti are living with their children Tara and Chandan, who are Siamese. Rupa is introduced to us. Here we come to know between the communication between Tara and Rupa that Mr. Patel wants his son to follow his footsteps, while his son Chandan has a different plan. He wants to be a writer. Again, story comes to the present, where Dan is focusing on Tara. We are told that nature hadn't been fair to either of them. Perhaps nature intended them to remain united. But in first act, and we see that Patel and Bharti belong to different states, Gujarat and Karnataka respectively. We also see Bharti bribing Rupa to be friendly with Tara. We also come to know from Dr. Thakkar about the case history of Chandan and Tara, where the operation took place when they were only 3 months old. Throughout the first act, Bharti tells Chandan that Patel doesn't care so much for Tara, while she herself seems to have a lot of love for Tara, and she says, I quote, love can make up for a lot, I unquote. The second act of the play leads to the story further. This act opens with Bharti and Tara in conversation with each other. Bharti is going to donate her kidney to Tara in a soon to be performed operation. Bharti says she is doing this for love, as well as to make up for Tara's father and all the things God hadn't given Tara. Here Dr. Thakkar continues to talk of the operation to separate the children. The action goes back to the Patel household. Tara is unhappy about her mother and refuses to fill forms of college. Chandan refuses to do either without her, and Patel wants Tara to comply for her brother's sake. While Chandan and Tara resolve the college issue, it becomes clear to us that while Chandan is not so affected by his lack of one leg, Tara longs to be normal with two legs. Now, returning to the present time, Dan gets a call from his father, Mr. Patel, where he informs him about the death of Bharti. Here, Dan's invitation to his father to come to London as both Bharti and Tara are no more reveals about Tara's death before 6 years. Again, the story goes back to the past, where Tara believes that her mother has a secret to disclose to her. She constantly thinks that her mother is the one who loves her very much and her father is denying her access to their mother, while Dr. Thakkar informs the audience about the separation was a complete success and the greatest challenge was to keep the girl alive. And reaching to the end of the play, we comes to know that Mr. Patel gives a shocking truth which he decides to tell the children. According to him, the twins had 3 legs between them and the third leg was fed by Tara's blood system. The chances of the leg's survival were greater with the girl, but Bharti and her father had decided to risk giving the leg to the boy. Being a father, this was not acceptable to Mr. Patel, but he couldn't protest strongly enough and the doctor was bribed by Bharti's powerful politician father. The leg had survived the 2 days only, while it could have been Tara's forever. Tara is devastated by this revelation. The play ends with the spirit of Tara and Dan hugging each other. Now, the major theme of the play. Now, as we have discussed the plot of the play, let us discuss major theme of this play. The first and quite noticeable subject that the play deals with is gender discrimination. The play opens with Chandan's guilt about taking no action against injustice to his sister Tara. He feels himself responsible for Tara's death and thus somehow accepts London and his identity of Dan as escaping from his guilt. The decision of giving the third leg to Chandan itself makes clear the preference for the beneficia of the male child over staking the life of female child. Even though there are a lot of laws and policies made for empowering women, Dattani here sarcastically points out that the attitude and approach of our society is highly patriarchal. Even small episode of the play shows the gender binary where Chandan wants to do knitting with the mother is condemned by his father for doing the girlish or womanish work while being a man. He has to participate in the breadwinning activities which usually is done by male for the society. You might have one question in your mind that why the parents of the Siamese have taken this decision where male child gets privilege over the female one. Being uneducated parents, they didn't think of their daughter, where at the end it is revealed that Bharti is actively involved in this gender biased decision. We realize that being a guilt conscious, she tries to show maternal love and concern for her daughter. She tries to explain, she tries to expiate by donating her kidney to her daughter, which ultimately is in vain. So it is important to note that Tara is sacrificed because she is a girl, and being a girl child, she has no right to have a better life than her brother Chandan. Tara, who is strong and fights back till the end of her life in the play, is not acceptable and ultimately her life comes to an end. Parental authority is another major idea of the play. The death of the daughter Tara is the ultimate result of parental preference that we have seen throughout the play. And we have also seen that how the parental preference of the son over the daughter is visible in many other issues. The parents wanted the son to have a distinct future for himself. So the mother preferred to give the third leg to Chandan, and the father, after operation, was so keen on the education of his male child, that is Chandan, his son. The gender discrimination begins with parental preference of son over the daughter and belittling the importance of daughter. Home in this play is a reflection of the society and how parents blindly give in to the notion of gendered preference. Tara and Chandan are clueless about the concepts of gender discrimination here and biases, and hence they stand above Mr. and Mrs. Patel. The generation gap is apparent where Chandan is not biased toward his sister and he believes that both of them are equal. Overall, the play itself is a question to the society which is not ready to accept the complete girl child and incomplete male child. So, friends, this was all that I wanted to share with you about Mahesh Dhattani's Tara, right? And so in this today's lecture, we have seen how Tara, a play by Mahesh Dhattani, is talking to us about gender discrimination and our choice for a male child over a female one is leading Tara to death and Chandan to a permanent guilt. So I hope you have enjoyed today's lecture and thank you so much for listening to me. We will meet in the next lecture once again. Thank you so much.
स्वाध्यायः परमम्